Hi, this is Zach Mayer with the Bulletin Board Heroes here at Zach's Traders Cafe for Thursday, the 4th of April. Starting off with the FTSE 100, which continues within this potential breakout to record highs zone. Obviously, we've nudged the 8,000 plus level intraday, but then the excitement was just obviously overwhelming. We came back, but just under 7,900 now, the support. We tested that yesterday. This looks like a mid-move consolidation bull flag and heading up to hopefully 81.40. The top of that rising trend channel from December by the end of this month. The overall picture is within a rising trend channel there from 2007, and the top of that channel heading for 8,500, which we're hoping for sometime during Q2. On the downside, if we do lose our momentum, then the next level down for this market would be basically towards the old March resistance there, 77.90, and then maybe the floor of that channel from December around 77.30. But above the 50-day line and within that rising trend channel, the hope is for a new record high for the FTSE 100. And as you can see yesterday, decent hammer candle, and for a very strong hammer candle, sort of rebounded like a cork and water rebound that we've had there, and actually had that also the other week as well. Moving along to the DAX, which I presume will be stretching higher if the FTSE is looking stable, but here we had the rug pull at the beginning of the week and trying to regroup after that. Support coming in around 18,300. So we're still within this rising trend channel from back in October. The downside at the moment seen as being limited to the 18,000 zone, and while we're above 18,000, looking for up to 19,100 by the end of this month. Moving on to the Dow, and here the picture a bit more complicated. That double top there for the March, or the end of March, and then also the gap down that we've had, but we're still taking the view that above the 50-day moving average, that's currently around 38,700. We still have the chance of hitting 40,000 perhaps as soon as the end of this month. The top of that, well, that September resistance line projection there at 40,600. Best case would be maybe by the end of next month up to 41,600, which is the top of that rising October trend channel. On the downside, the worst we're expecting is towards 38,200, basically the February-March support zone. Moving on to Bitcoin, where we're sort of still in a bit of a rug pull situation. The good news is that it looks like that the market is stabilizing above the rising 50-day moving average at 63,000. That's our line in the sand, really. Above that, then we're still looking for retest of the best levels through 73,000, maybe up to as high as 83,000 by the end of this month. Downside at the moment, hopefully limited to the 60,000 area if we do break back below the 50-day moving average. Moving on to gold, which has exceeded expectations. Here we had our well, sort of the second target. First target was around 2200. Second one was 2280, and above 2280 we had a higher resistance line there from back in August last year, as high as 2380, and we could see that by the end of this month or even sooner. Downside limited to that old peak that we had last month around the 2240 area, 46 in fact, and hopefully we'll stay above that. Moving on to the stocks, and not too many to look at today. Cavendish, though, a good update, and here you can see that shares have a bear trap reversal from below the 200-day moving average there, around 9 pence. Above that, we're looking rather simply for a retest of 2024 resistance, 13 pence plus by the end of this month. Moving on to European metals, and here the picture looking as though it is one of recovery. Broadening triangle base here, top of the triangle there up to 17.5 pence, and we're looking at that by the end of this month, especially while we remain above the old January support there for the shares at 13.8 pence. If you're cautious, you'll probably wait for an end-of-day close through the 50-day moving average at 14.5, given that we haven't been properly above that particular feature since early August. Moving on to a stock which we've given quite a lot of coverage to in the recent past. The reason of interest at the moment, or there is interest, is that we've had a rebound off the rising 200-day moving average, so that sort of saved the day in terms of the uptrend, the bull run in the shares. Initial target here, obviously the 50-day moving average around 9 pence. Best case would be up to 14 pence perhaps by the end of next month, but you can see there's quite a lot of resistance in the 10 pence area, so maybe that's the best area to focus on, at least initially. Moving on to a stock which I hardly ever cover, and I don't think anybody else covers either, Gelion. And here we've got this falling trend channel, and just interesting that the shares have come to life after just being at the lows or new lows. Initial target here around 20.5 pence at the top of that falling trend channel from May, and maybe the best case by the end of this month up to 23 pence. And the 200-day moving average. Don't think we've been above the 200-day line for, well, nearly 3 years, so it would be quite a change for the stock to get back to that zone. On to Genedrive, where the supernatural powers of people seem to work very well this week, with a rebound off and a key reversal off the support line there from back in January at the beginning of the week. Current position is that above the 50-day moving average, we're looking for our second target here as high as 7 pence over the next session or two. Best case scenario target now is up to the 200-day moving average at 9.2 pence, and perhaps we could see that by the end of this month. Moving along to Horizonte, where I suppose it's become a bit of a spectator sport. What's interesting here is that we may be in a broadening triangle base, and the other point to note here is also the way that the old support there around 2 3/4 pence has become or may become new resistance. So if there is to be a recovery here, we want to see an end of day close back above 2 3/4 pence to take us back up to 4 pence, but obviously that is just a technical view, not obviously dependent on the fundamentals. Moving on to Helium 1, which has come back to life today with a bit of a bang. Interestingly enough, found support almost like in a no man's zone below the old January support there around 1.07 pence, which is good news really. The initial target here, the top of that falling trend channel from the end of January around 1.4 pence. Ideally, we get back up to around 1.65 pence and the 50-day moving average by the end of this month, or even sooner than that. But a little bit of a bear trap effect happening there at the moment. Next up is Kazera, and here you can see that the shares have broken through the 50-day moving average. That's around 0.43 pence. Above that, we're looking for as high as 0.75 pence, and maybe as soon as the end of this month, which is the top of a broadening triangle there from back in October. Next up is metals exploration, where the rise has been almost relentless. We've hit our third target now. That's around the 5.6 pence level, and another line that I've drawn there. The next parallel on the upside is high as 6.6 pence, hopefully over the next week or two for the shares. Upside valid while we hold above the 5.5 pence area, basically the recent resistance for the shares. Interesting setup at the next stock, and here you can see what it is. RBG, the broadening triangle base potentially. Beautiful move there through the 50-day moving average, and the 50-day line now rising. Nice candles there as well, so basically opening at the low, closing at the high on a sort of regular basis over this week. Top of the triangle there up to 14 pence, and we're looking for that over the next 1 to 2 weeks while we remain above that 10 pence area, which has been the initial April support. On to a stock which has also come back to life, perhaps surprisingly, which is Tungsten West. Here you can see that we've had, I think I did cover it before actually earlier in the week, that we've had these very solid candles, basically no red candles there for the best part of a month, and again that opening at the low, closing at the high type of pattern. Today we've gapped up through our initial target there, 1 3/4 pence, and now we're looking for the old post, or the old July support there, around 2.8 pence, hopefully over the next 1 to 2 weeks. If you're cautious, maybe wait for an end of day close through the 200-day moving average at 2 pence, but those very strong candles in recent days suggest that something rather positive is going on there on a fundamental basis. Finishing up with Xtract Resources, which had a great key reversal yesterday off a new low. Interesting that we're already back above the 50-day moving average, around a penny, and if we can maintain that, i.e. stay above a penny, the target here is up to 1.4 pence, perhaps by the end of this month. That's it from me today. More updates tomorrow.